Happy Friday evening, everybody. I feel like I've hit a snag right now in terms of, telling the rest of my story because it's not pleasant, and and I asked, one of my really good friends, like, what should I do? How should I tell this story? Because I know that, people are going to be very judgmental when they hear, the rest of my story. And she's like, well, you know what? People are going to judge you no matter what you say or what you don't say or what you do or this or that. So it doesn't even matter. You might as well just, tell your story. Which she is 100% correct. No matter how I do this or tell you whatever, there's going to be people that are going to be judgmental of me and, my life and all the mistakes I've made. So, it is what it is. And I also don't want anyone thinking that I'm just on here like, oh, I'm such a victim and I've never done anything wrong to anybody. Yeah, no, that's not the case. I'm just pretty much trying to tell you guys everything that has happened. Now, yes, I take full responsibility for making the decisions that caused me to end up suffering in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, if you make bad decisions, bad choices, ultimately, there's going to be bad consequences. And that's just how it is. So I was trying to tell you guys about January 2017, how I ended up going to that house with this gal named JJ and her mom's initial is S. They're 14 years apart, so they fight like, sisters. Both heavy into the meth, and that's one of the reasons why I ended up at that house, because like I had said previously, JJ had wanted it to seem like this was going to be some kind of clean and sober house where we would all be coming together so we could, fight our addiction and do better in life. No, that wasn't it at all. The people that ended up at that house were people that either she had hooked up with already, people that she wanted to hook up with, and people that had drugs and had access to drugs. Yeah. And, oh man, this is hard for me. So there's this married couple. We'll call them P and J. And they ended up moving into that house too. So, yeah, suffice it to say, it was not a good environment. It was a trap house. It was a cat house. It was this. It was that. We were doing things we probably shouldn't have been doing. And I really don't want to be more descriptive or to describe it more. I mean, it's 2023. Y'all use your imagination. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I ended up being there. I don't know. I don't even think it was even like 2 months. Maybe it was a month. Maybe a month and a half. I'm not sure. But ultimately, she ended up kicking out the married couple because they made her look stupid, and she got really, really upset about that. She's a very ego-driven, very egocentric, and is the kind of person where you think you'd be putting her up on a pedestal when you're high, if that makes any sense. It's like, okay, see, clean and sober me, who has a relatively decent thought capacity, is not going to be impressed by somebody like that. Now, when you're on drugs, especially meth, everything is amplified. Feelings that you think you have that you don't are amplified. So when she kicked out the married couple, I left with them. They were living in their truck. They had a canopy on their truck and everything, so I went with them. And she's all like, well, you don't have to go. I just kicked them out. And it's like, yeah, no, I want to go. And, it's because I had a thing for the husband. Yeah. And, obviously, things didn't work out, and it was very wrong of me to do that. And that's something that I had done for years, off and on, is hook up with dudes who I knew were married or in relationships, and then tried to justify it by saying, well, my husband's treated me like that. They cheated on me. So, maybe the world should feel my pain, which is a completely wrong thing for me to do. It was horrible, 100% unacceptable. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Don't try to go around and make life worse for people. You know what I mean? And that's the mindset I had. It's like, you know what? I'm going to do what I feel like doing. I'm going to hang out with who I want to hang out with. I'm going to do drugs, do this, and do that. And ultimately, in the long run, that did way more harm than good. It hurt a lot of people, and I feel like I just can't stress enough how sorry I am for all the things that I've done in the past. whether I was addicted or, on drugs at the time or clean and sober. Because, yeah, I've done a lot of stupid stuff when I was sober before I even got into hardcore drugs. And I'm really sorry about that. But, long story short, that couple ended up booting me out of their truck on Pacific Highway, just, probably about a block down the street from the Emerald Queen Casino in Fife, and they drove away with all my possessions in the truck. Yep. So after that, I was pretty much just running, the streets of Fife and Tacoma and, hitting the casino up here and there. But I feel like, geez, it had to have been like May of 2017. I ended up getting banned for life from both casinos, the Emerald Queen in Fife and the Emerald Queen in Tacoma, because of my deplorable behavior, which, I was in there for a year and a half acting a complete and utter fool. Puyallup Tribe, I'm pretty sure I'm one of those ones they're never going to forget. Well, I hope they do, because like I said, I'm sorry, but yeah, I was acting a fool, just horrible, freaking running around, screaming and swearing at people. Whenever I'd see a cash-out voucher, I'd grab that, put it into the next machine and gamble, which is strictly forbidden. Taking cigarettes out of the ashtray, that's also not acceptable behavior. Sitting around for 2 hours, pretending to gamble, then claiming that you did so you can go and get that $20 comp for your free meal, that's also not acceptable. And that's just a few of the crazy things I did. And, finally they were, these people were tired of it. And, I can't blame them. They should have banned me way before then. You know what I mean? And, what's funny is, I found out I was pregnant, like, geez, I want to say like a couple of days, maybe even a couple of weeks after I got banned from the casino. And, this is how I found out. Okay, so I'm sitting on top of one of those 5-gallon buckets over at the I-5 exit ramp right behind Commencement Bay Cannabis. They're right there, and then next to them is Emerald Queen, right? So I'm sitting on this bucket, and for some reason I ended up passing out. Fell backwards, bumped my head on the concrete, was out for a minute, woke up, had to call 911 for myself, even though there's a long line of cars, these people trying to get off the exit ramp, right? So I ended up being transported to the hospital. I believe it was Tacoma General. If you're from Tacoma, you know where that is. Even if you're not from Tacoma, if you've lived in Tacoma for any extended period of time, you know where that is, over on Hilltop, right? Just down the street from St. Joe's. So that's where I ended up finding out I was pregnant, because they did blood work. Because I was like, you know what? I'm here at the hospital, which makes me realize I haven't gotten a period for a while. So ended up having them do the blood work, and lo and behold, I was pregnant. And what did I do? Once they released me, went back out to the streets and was acting a fool like I was before. Continued to go to Emerald Queen, even though I was banned for life, and they could have arrested me, for trespassing. And thank God in heaven that, that didn't happen, because that would have just made things way worse, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I ended up, in this tent at this campsite that's just down the street from the casino. There was a couple of people there, and I was just such a mean, just horrible, just nasty person with a horrible disposition that nobody wanted to be around me. They all moved. They all, picked up their camp, and they went down, geez, almost like they were headed back into Fife. Where I was, it's like you're leaving Fife, headed into Milton, and after Milton, there's Federal Way, and, so on and so on. But, yeah, they went the other way. They weren't trying to deal with me anymore. And, it was just horrible. I was miserable, running around pregnant, running and gunning like, like some naive, ignorant young person. You know what I mean? So it was just horrible. And ultimately, though, that's how I ended up getting, clean. Well, heading, in the direction of getting clean, was there was another girl in the streets who was pregnant, too. I think she was further along than me by, I want to say 4 to 6 weeks. Well, she had told me about this inpatient treatment program up at Swedish Hospital in Ballard, Washington. That's just right next to Seattle. I mean, technically, Ballard is Seattle, whatever. So, It's called the Addiction Recovery Unit. Is for women who are pregnant and want to get off drugs. They want to get clean. They want to start over, rebuild their life. So I was there for like 22 days. I think I ended up checking in when I was 7 months pregnant. Yeah, so I was there for 22 days and completed the program. I feel like I got a certificate, although I don't know where it is. I lost a lot of stuff between Tacoma and, Coeur d'Alene over the past, almost like 5.5 years. So, okay, well, I think I'm going to stop the story for now, and I will pick up later. Thank you all for watching my videos. God bless y'all. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And even if you don't want to subscribe, share this video, share the heck out of it so I, can reach people with my message. I don't want money or any of that. What I want is for, my story to be spread worldwide. That may seem like an extremely humongous, unachievable goal, but I don't care right now. Because it's very important for people when you're going through stuff. You need to know that you're going to be okay, that there are people there to help you. You just have to reach out and take the help. And when it comes to drug addiction, if you want to get off drugs, you'll do it. I know it's not easy. Heck no, it's not easy. It's a nightmare. And every day you have to watch yourself because you're in constant recovery. Once you're clean and sober, you're in recovery for the rest of your life. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's it. That's how it is. So, and I want people to know that this is possible. And also, don't give up on yourself. You know how many people I've seen, hit rock bottom and then bounce back up? There are so many people who are doing way better than I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it is possible. Just don't give up. And don't ever compare yourself to somebody else because we all have our own stories. One person cannot compare to another person. But, yeah. Alright, I'm rambling again. And also my Journey in Recovery is my new Facebook page. Please check that out. If you don't want to like it, then share it so other people can like it. Love y'all. Have a great night. Bye-bye.